Okay, so this is me, 26 years of married life. I'm a retired religious leader, and I took up theology at the Manila, Philippines Institute of Religion and 4 other home Bible studies during my youth days. I took up psychology at Arellano University. I have 2 bachelor degrees. The other one is political science. And the Katarungan Pambarangay Law at University of Makati also, I took that up. And paralegal studies at UP Law School. And I have 3 postgraduate courses at De La Salle and in Ateneo. 3 postgraduate courses also. I'm the founder, managing director of law firm BCIDP, the Exclusive School for Couples, the Family and Corporate Mediation Center, the Music School, the Events Management, the Foundation, BCIDP Paladin Diyos Foundation, and Misty Paula Flower Arrangement, which is owned by my wife. I have over 25 years of professional career in the private sector as a manager or support to the executive. So whatever their problem is in every operations of the company, it is also my problem. I am trained to work under pressure. Even their family problems, I get involved. So I have to be part of it also in helping them resolving their family conflicts. These are my mentors, former Supreme Court Justice Adalberto Sandoval, whom I have the chance to be taught by him at the University of Santo Tomas with attorney Vic Elizar, my former boss also, and UP and Arellano Law faculty. And he is also a senior partner at Program Chatutan LSR, where we work together. I attended hundreds of seminars about property, business, marriage, family, alternative dispute resolutions, about visa also, music, and events. So these are my fields. I have to establish theories about these fields that we specialize, because experience is not actually the best teacher. I have proven that, because even though I have lots of experience, I cannot explain it because I don't have the theory. So you need to have the theory first before you apply them. It normally happened to Filipinos who got married at the early stage of their lives, no? Okay? They will start working because they will have to provide for the needs of their family. And so the experience comes first here in the Philippines. Okay? In Ateneo de Manila Law School students, I was interviewed also on how to mediate family disputes. And by the Lyceum of the Philippines also about the declining marriages in the Philippines. I'm an assistant to the former chief and founder of the legal clinic in the Philippines. No, we worked together for 5 years. He was a great mentor to me in the field of law. And also with Dean Fides Cordero Tang of the UP Law School. We worked together for 5 years. And because of that, I'm being invited to speak at different schools or universities. Like this one in Our Lady of Fatima, Miriam College, an exclusive all-girls school, and Polytechnic University of the Philippines as guest lecturer. Hindi ako nagpipirmi as full-time professor because it takes a lot of time, no? Maraming oras kakainin sa akin. Interview by media, Leader News Philippines, where I had my online program, Papa Angelo, the Life Mentor. And I got interviewed also by GMA7 Stand for Truth about the Child Bride Act sponsored by Senator Risa Hontiveros. Yeah, we are close in the entertainment industry. Most of them are our clients and colleagues in the entertainment. This is my wife being noticed also in the media. And a retired judge joined us to help us in this advocacy, the Family and Corporate Mediation Center. When you are struggling as a couple to resolve your disputes, you don't go to the barangay. You don't go to the courts to resolve your dispute, okay? You go to us first. Okay? If you failed it inside your home, failed to resolve it, you go to us, not to our office. That's the advocacy. So it's the very first non-law firm, family mediation center in the Philippines. She is a retired court judge, a mediator in the Supreme Court, and my wife is the youngest mediator in the Supreme Court now. And she also speaks at UMac, University of Makati. Very young, no? Mamaya, tanungin niyo siya kung ilang taon na siya. Siya magsasabi sa inyo. Okay? So this is our advocacy. We are government's partner in building stronger marriage foundations and happier families in the next generation. Well, the government or this state or every state, even the state of the United States, they consider marriage to be the foundation or the family to be the foundation. When we say marriage and family, they are considered as one. The Constitution is the Constitution under Article 15 have stated that the state has a duty to protect the sanctity of the family, the foundation, being the foundation of this nation. So these first 2 hours, we will have the studies about the principles and the law, the Constitution, current situation of our country's foundation, the right answer to controversial questions on marriage. The next 4 hours will be the rights and obligations under the family code, the perfect marriage versus imperfect human beings. May naka-open tayong audio. Ma'am, sir, pa-close muna, pa-mute muna yung audio. The truth about marriage design. You need this knowledge for you to handle your spouse. So you will know how to handle your spouse because you cannot do what you do not know. Okay? Do not assume that you know it. You must have knowledge about it. So you know how to handle your spouse. And you have to do these 5 things to your spouse as validated by science. These findings of science is aligned to the design of the male and the female. You will be amazed how your creator created you as a male. You will be amazed how your creator created you as a female. So you both need to understand that so you know how to handle the product. Okay? We are a product. All of us are products. And the evidence of that, we came out to this world naked. We do not own anything. Okay? And even if you own a lot of things during your lifetime, God has proven also, the Creator has proven to us also that you cannot bring anything upon your expiry date here on earth. Okay? So, is there a perfect marriage? Yes or no? I'd like to know your answer. Is there a perfect marriage? Where's your answer? Taas ang kamay. May perfect marriage or wala? Mahirap? Hindi possible? Hindi nyo nakikita sa Philippines? Or possible? Gia and Lester, possible? Perfect marriage?
It's possible, yeah. If 2 individuals want to really.
O, teka muna. Thank you, Gia. Baka iba yung sagot ni Lester. Lester?
Sorry.
Possible?
Yes.
May perfect marriage?
Yes.
Very good. Adriel, may perfect marriage?
Yes.
O, pinag-isipan ha. Kim and Cyrene. May perfect marriage pa talaga?
Possible naman.
Possible.
Possible. Okay. Valerie, may perfect marriage? Meron. Okay. Rasen?
Meron, sir.
Meron. Angelica?
Possible. Kailangan ng pag-effortan.
Effort. Rachel and David?
Possible.
Possible po.
Possible. Miss Chi, Christopher is listening. Is it possible? Naka-mute ka. Okay. Hindi ata working yung ano mo. But her answer is possible, Chris.
Okay. Every marriage will have problems, but if both members work hard together to overcome the problems, then you
Yes.
can come to close to perfection.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. Because most Filipinos do not accept that there is a possibility to have a perfect marriage. Why? Because the culture of breakups, the culture of breaking families here in the Philippines are very prevalent, no? So it has become the mindset of most Filipinos that there is no perfect marriage. And so whenever they answer me no, maybe because you cannot find it here in the Philippines. You can find it outside the Philippines. And you can see the evidences of a country that has majority perfect marriages. How? By looking at the crime rate, by looking at the poverty rate of that country, by looking at the social ills of every country, because that is the evidence that every family in the homes are complete. Okay? There's no one going around to look for what they need. If you study psychology, Abraham Maslow's studied about the needs of every human beings, the hierarchy. I will show that to you later, the hierarchy. So if these are met, if these needs are met inside the home, the members of the family will not go out to look for that needs. Okay? You will always stay at home if you have food, if you have love, if you have comfort, received by given by your parents. Okay? So, bakit marami naghihiwalay despite their love for each other? Normal ba talaga sa mag-asawa nag-aaway? So, all of these are the teachings of this world which I will change the way you think later on. Okay? May privacy ba dapat ang isa't isa sa mag-asawa? Dapat ba hindi alam ni husband yung password ni wife? Dapat ba hindi alam ni wife yung password ni husband sa cellphone? At kailangan magpaalam muna bago kalkalin yung cellphone ng asawa? Sagutin natin yan later on, okay? Ano ang mga need na hindi want ng asawa mo? Because akala mo, want niya, hindi pala. Meron siyang mas need kesa doon sa iniisip mong wants niya. So magkaiba po yan, ha? Dapat ba may consent lagi ng husband ang bawat gagawin ng wife? Papaalam ka ba lagi? Ha? Gia, magpapaalam ka ba lagi kay Lester? Sagutin natin yan mamaya, ha? Valerie, kailangan mo paalam lagi sa husband mo sa bawat gagawin mo? Okay, mamaya tanungin natin yung sagot, ha? Kasi yung maraming mag-asawa talaga ay sinasabi nila, natutunan nila sa culture, natutunan nila sa society na dapat daw meron kang dapat free ka, girl, to do anything you want. May mga ganun yan eh. Girl, dapat kung hindi ka na masaya, umalis ka na dyan. Marami pang mas deserving sa'yo. Ganyan kagaling magpayo ang ating mundo. Okay? So pag wala nang gana sa sex, ano ang gagawin? Tikin ng iba, secretly, i-address din natin yan. Sino ba talaga ang dapat na provider sa pamilya? Husband o wife? Mga tanong na hindi mo pa makita ang sagot hanggang ngayon? Feel free to ask it later, ha? Along the way, I will give you the answers. Now, this is the belief of the world that if there are strong families, the nation is great. Okay? It has been proven already by behavioral scientists that if a community composed of strong families, intact families, it becomes a strong community. And if that happens in the entire nation, you will have a great nation. But in this country, it's really impossible for now because of the wrong teachings that the colonizers and even the church, no? Okay, magagalit sa akin. May mga turo na nakakarating sa atin mula sa simbahan. I will not talk particularly of a particular church, but most of the teachings gave us or resulted to our wrong decisions in life. Okay? Because pag tama ang turo, tama rin yung magiging decision mo. At sa bawat tamang desisyon, ay tamang klase ng buhay ang binibigay niyan. Okay? Right knowledge produces the right decisions. And right decisions produces the right kind of life. Okay? So Article 149 Family Code, it also emphasizes the declaration in the Constitution that being the foundation of the nation, it's a basic social institution that public policy cherishes and protects. If you ask Wikipedia, what's the meaning of foundation or family, the Wikipedia answers the family is the place where people are well maintained. Okay? Family is the place where people are well maintained. So just imagine if the people inside the home are not well maintained. Okay? And that will go out in the society and we will have lots of problems. They will destroy other people. Now, why the family is called the foundation? Let's define foundation so we can clearly understand what the state meant by saying that the family is the foundation. It's located at the bottom. No, if you are part of the engineering industry, you know that the foundation beneath every structure, that's where the bulk of all budget goes on, no? Or allotted. Diyan yung pinakamalaking budget na pupunta because you know the logical sense to that, whatever beautiful the tower is, kung mahina ang foundation, kaya naman kagaganda ng mga materials mo sa ibabaw, if you have a weak foundation, then it will be destroyed. So the same as the family. Pag nasira ang family, of course, dumami, the nation will fall. So this is our situation for the last 33 years. Why 33 years? I was born in 1970s during martial law. And I can confidently say, hindi mahirap ang buhay during that time. Walang nasisirang family. Mabibilang lang sa kamay yung mga nasisirang family. Alam niyo kung bakit? Ngayon ko napag-isipan din, napag-aralan eh. Dahil sa curfew. For many years, hanggang 10 o'clock lang ang tao sa kalye. From 10:01 hanggang 4 a.m., pulis lang ang nasa kalye. Wala kang makikitang batang pakalat-kalat. Wala kang makikitang husbands na pasuray-suray sa kalasingan sa kalye. Wala kang makikitang mga kriminal na umiikot tuwing gabi. Yan po ang resulta ng curfew. Less crime during the martial law. When the Aquino government took over the government, pinalabas nila sa atin, for the last 33 years, binilog ang ulo natin na sila yung good boy, sila yung good people. Ito ngayon yung resulta ng buhay natin after 33 years from 1987. Why 1987? Because 1986 yung revolution. People power, 1986. Then the very first act that they did was to revise the Constitution. Lahat nung ginawa ng martial law ay inilagay lahat sa 1987 Constitution na bawal. Bawal pumasok sa bahay ng walang search warrant. Bawal arestuhin ng isang tao ng walang warrant of arrest, bawal blank ganito. We are talking about this because we need to understand what went wrong to our society. Kasi pag hindi, matutulad kayo sa mga nasisirang pamilya. We have to study our history, no? Because yan yung bumuo what we have become now. Social ills natin, poverty, hindi natatapos. Every president nakakandidato, babawasan daw ang kahirapan. Magbibigay ng maraming trabaho, magbibigay ng maraming pagkakataon sa Pilipino. Napapagod na ako. Napapagod na ako tuwing maririnig ko yan every 6 years. Eto na naman sila. This is a continuing social ill. So, gusto nating mabago ang mundo. Gusto nating mabago ang Pilipinas. Let's start it from our families. That's the only key. Kaya pag nagkaanak tayo, pag nagkaanak kayo, yan yung bubuo ng society later on. Pag hindi natin yan maintain ng maayos sa loob ng bahay, lalabas yung problema sa society. Okay? So we need to understand that. Violence against women and children. We have a very high statistics of VAUSI. Siyempre, sino pa makikisama pag dinemanda na yung husband? Wala nang pamilyang sinesave dito. Wala nang family yung pinipreserve dito. Drugs, crimes are prevalent. And until now, the discipline of Filipinos, this is a very critical issue among us, no? In discipline, corruption, terrorism. Anything else in mind? Baka meron ka pang alam. The VAUSI cases, kahit hindi pa nangyayari, ay meron ng figures. Okay? You can see this at PSA website. Yung website ng PSA. Sabi pa, 1 for every 5 Pinoy marriages is annulled. This is the trending. Okay? I'll go back to the VAUSI. Until 2027 are already theorized that there will be 156,000 wives or children will be victims of violence. Okay? From the family. You see that? And GMA News, September 2019, the average now is 10,000. Hindi pa kasali dito yung mga Muslim divorces natin, hindi pa kasali dyan yung VAUSI cases sa bilang. So, according to our studies, own studies, approximately 50,000 a year. And that is also evident na sa majority ng aming callers asking how to dissolve their marriage are females. Majority of our callers sa Muslim divorce are females also. And this Rappler study shows us na females pa rin ang pinakamaraming gustong maputol yung papel na nagbibigay sa kanilang dalawa. So, there must be something wrong with the males, no? There must be something wrong with the husbands. And prior to filing annulment or nullity of marriage, according to these studies by Rappler, the first 5 years is very tough. 34.72%. Number of years living together. 6 to 10 years of living together, 26.04%. 11 to 15 years together, 16.69%. 16 to 20 years together, it's still tough because 8.30%, half of the 16.69, and 21 to 25 years together, they still give up, 6.42%. And finally, 26 to 30 years together is 1.89. For less than a year, 4.91%. This percentage came from those figures, from these figures that the Rappler studied. Okay, so if you will notice, the 26 to 30 years of living together has already reduced. This validates the findings of science, of the experts, that you can only say, you can only claim that you are strong enough as couples when you reach 25 years above. When you reach 25 years above, you are stronger than ever. Nobody can destroy your marriage anymore. Okay? When you reach 25 years and above of living together. So do not boast, do not boast around that you have been 10 years together, you have been 15 years together, you have been 20 years together. Do not go around boasting that. That's not enough according to the experts. Wait until you reach 25 years. Okay? So you will confidently say that you are stronger than ever as a couple. Okay? Now, is there someone forcing you to get married? Is there someone forcing you to get married? Where your parents influence you, your family members, anyone who influence you? Taas ang kamay, meron ba? Wala? Okay, that's very good. Because that's already our situation here. And the president's performance is already being affected with the number of social ills that we have in this country na naglabasan nung panahon ng pandemic. Okay? Lumabas lahat yung problems na yan. So, what is the principle? These are the things that you need to know. Let's start with the word principle. Because the more you understand about the principle, the more you will understand the idea about the instructions or about an event that transpired if you understand the principle. Prince means first. False means the law. So if you combine it together, it is first law. In the kingdom government, the sons and daughters of a king are called prince or princess because they are first in line to the throne. First in line to the throne. That's why they are called prince or princess. So principles, you can find principles in, this is actually the spirit of the law. They are called principles. You cannot read that. You cannot find that in print. That is the idea before something is created. And that is called principle. So when God made the heavens and the earth, there was a principle in his mind before he created that, which is the first law. Okay? When he created the galaxy and everything that consists our galaxies, he established laws for all of these to operate well, for these things not to collide with each other. That is a law. And the purpose of that is to put everything in order. Okay? But let us all remember that there are two kinds of law. But if we define law first, it's to regulate behavior. Okay? To regulate behavior. So generally, the two types of laws are the laws made by human beings and the laws not made by human beings, or the laws made not by human beings. And these two types of laws can be categorized as positive laws and natural laws. Okay? Positive laws and the natural laws. What's the difference of these two? We will discuss it. The natural law is conferred not by act of legislation, but by God, nature, or reason. In other words, the natural law does not come from the Congress. Natural law is not a creation of man. Natural law does not come from the Senate or from the state. It is from God, from nature, from the word nature. And the human beings have no control over this natural law. The human beings have nothing to do with these natural laws. And you will feel that in your body, within our bodies. So let us call these natural products, the natural resources, the animals, the human beings, the love, the feelings, no? You have that. You cannot control that. You will surely feel that at one point in your life. And that is not your invention. That is a natural product installed within us, within our being. The will or the power to choose for our lives, that is installed, which became the philosophy of the Greek people, of the Greek philosophers, that every human being has will to decide for himself. But the problem starts when you start exercising this will not in accordance with the Creator, not in accordance with the laws of the Creator. The rights, the freedom also, as established by the Greek philosophers. And the byproducts of all these, the byproducts is marriage, family, your career, your community, the government, the institutions, and money. These are all the byproducts of our decisions. All of these emanated from one source, which is the Creator. So we cannot really claim anything owned by us. Wala tayong pwedeng angkinin. Lahat yan galing sa Diyos because it's the product of our decision sometimes. But is your decision aligned to the will of God? Yun ang question eh. If your decision is not aligned to the will of God, then you'll be in trouble. Okay? So remember that the joining of two products of its own creator is called relationship. So even the word relationship is created by God, not the invention of the human being. Relationship. I will explain. For every seed to become a tree, it needs a good soil. Pag yung seed na yan, nilagay mo sa semento o sa kalye, kahit 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ang tumakbo, hindi yan magiging puno. Bakit? Wrong relationship. Wrong environment. Okay? Hindi siya mag-grow. The same thing to human beings. Kung wrong environment yung nalagyan niya, wrong relationship ang mangyayari. The same thing with the birds. They need clean air because they were designed to fly. Okay? The purpose why they have feathers is for them to fly. So remember the purpose of everything. Every product has a purpose. And the moment you violated that purpose, you will be in trouble because natural laws have built-in punishments. Natural laws have built-in consequences. The fish needs a good water as well. Even if you take them out of their natural habitat, they will die naturally. We don't have to kill them. So that's how valuable the relationship is. Their connection to each other. That's what we need to understand. The moment you decided to get married, you activated the relationship laws of our Creator. And there were laws established for that relationship to function well. Don't forget that. You have to follow that laws that you have activated. Okay? That you have just activated. Because you can actually live alone happily even without someone else beside you. And a lot of people have proven that already, that they can live successfully even as a single guy or as a single person. Okay? Many have proven that already. So violation of natural laws has built-in punishment or disaster in the process. So don't mess with natural laws. That includes the feelings of your spouse, okay? That includes the purpose of your spouse. Do not violate natural laws, okay? Like this one. Something was violated here, okay? Do not attempt to violate the relationship laws established by the Creator. For this couple, 4 months after their marriage, the husband killed the wife by strangulation. And if you read the story, I think I gave that to your homeworks. There was something violated. There was a law, relationship law violated in the relationship. That's very tragic. 4 months after the marriage. Because this guy is a Greek. The problem started when the woman calls the husband stupid. You do not call your husband stupid. That's a violation of relationship law. And you told that to a Greek human being. You do not call stupid the Greek people. They have a big contribution to the world. That's really very, you call that capital punishment to call a Greek stupid. Right, Chris?
Yes, and they also had temper.
Yeah. That's very dangerous to call your husband stupid. Now, the second principle, the relationship between the manufacturer and his product. The same concept that God has. Why we have the capacity to think of these things. That whenever you create a product, you put a manual or you place a manual in the box of the product. Diba? Whenever we buy TV, printer, washing machine, ref, it always comes with a manual. Why this manual? Because it's the maker's mind. It contains the ideas of the maker, why the product was created, why the functions are working like that. Because it's all in his mind. So he has to put it in writing so that the product will not malfunction. So you can use the product well. And I have not seen any manufacturer who created a product just because he likes it. Okay? Sa Tagalog, wala pa ako nakitang manufacturer na gumawa ng produkto dahil for trip purposes. No? Trip lang niyang gawin ang isang produkto. No manufacturer is wasting his resources, time, attention to do something without a purpose. Okay? So, whenever a product comes out of the manufacturing plant, it always has a purpose. The manual is the law of the product. It contains the mind of the maker, so it's a law about the product. Do not forget that. Any misuse or abuse may damage the product. Abuse is from the word abnormal use. So it only means you are not using the product normally. Okay? According to its purpose. When a wife is being abused by her husband, it only means the husband is not using the wife according to her purpose. Okay? She cannot perform well. She cannot do her purpose to you, husband, because she is already malfunctioning. Okay? When one of you malfunctions because of the actuation of the other. Remember that. And sometimes, most of the time, when when you malfunction, it started from you. Okay? Because of lack of knowledge on your purpose as a husband. It also starts from the wife when the wife does not know his or her purpose to her husband and as a wife. Kaya hindi pwedeng siya may kasalanan eh. Mali siya, tama ako. Walang ganun. Because you are only considered as one product. The husband and the wife is just one product. Okay? Hindi pwedeng may tama diyan sa dalawang 'yan. Hindi pwedeng may mali diyan sa kanilang dalawa. Parehong mali yung dalawang nasa relationship na 'yan. So, if you hear things not in accord with the manual, everything they say about the product is called an opinion. Okay? So, as I've said a while ago, this government is not the manufacturer of human beings. Psychologists, psychiatrists, lawyers, religious leaders are not the designer or manufacturer of marriage, nor the human family. So, if you talk to them and ask for their advice about your marriage dispute, they should make sure, or you should also make sure, that it is aligned to the manufacturer. It is aligned to the designer of the product. Okay, whatever they advise. And because an opinion outside the manual is called tampering with another man's products. So when a product is broken, where do you go to have it fixed? We have this feeling, natural feeling, that we have no control, that we are confident bringing the defective product to the manufacturer himself, di ba? Dadalhin mo ba yung Toyota mo sa Honda? Of course not. Di ba? Dadalhin mo ba yung Mercedes-Benz mo sa BMW? Of course not. Why? Why you have that feeling? That's a natural law installed within our human being. At yan ay ginagamit din dapat sa iyong relationship. Pag nakipagrelasyon ka sa kapwa mo, lalo na't opposite sex, you have to know the purpose of the product. Okay? So, manufacturer, maker equals products. Male and female union equals marriage. Marriage, children. Product of marriage, what else? You create a family. This is the very first institution in the world. Not the church, not the Congress or any institution. The marriage is also an institution. You are creating an institution now, but it happened long time ago. So if you want to know the truth, where do you go? You go back from where it all started to know the truth. How do we define truth? I'd like to ask one of you. Define truth. Rasen, can you help us define truth, definition?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Truth. For me, I think so. Truth is like yung magiging loyal mo or magiging faithful sa partner or couples, something like that. For me
Okay.
lang. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rasen. We always search for truth for something or any problem that is in front of us, di ba? We have to get to the bottom of it. And the only way to know the truth is to get back to the original information, to check where it all started. Okay? Because truth means original information. Truth means original information. That's where we can find the truth, from its original source, from where it all started. Even the wordings that we use today, Kung gusto mo mas maintindihan yon, go back from where it all started. Go back from where it was created. Okay? That's how to know the truth. Even sa office, di ba, sa workplace natin, pag may lumabas na problema, saan ba galing to? Sino ba nag-approve dito? Sino nag-request dito? Di ba? You want to know the truth eh. You want to get to the bottom of it. Because the moment you have the truth, what's the effect? Anong effect sa atin once we have the truth already? David, pag alam mo na yung truth, anong ibibigay ito sa'yo?
Alam mo yung truth.
Right decision.
Right decision. Yung ayan, kagaya ng example nyo, sino nag-approve? So you can ask the person who approved it, for this one, or yung rationale, where she or he approved this request.
Yes. Thank you, David. Diba? You go back from where it all started, from the beginning. That is the definition of truth. So if we talk about marriage, kanino ka makikinig? Hindi sa pare, hindi sa pastor. Buti na lang, hindi ako pare, hindi rin ako pastor. Kikinig ka doon sa authorized dealer ng produkto. Okay? Because that is where you can find the design, the original design of marriage. Check from where it all started. Marriage actually happened in the Garden of Eden. That's the violation they committed na hindi tinuturo sa atin. Nag-sex silang dalawa. Bakit hindi tinuturo sa atin? Because it is contrast to the teachings na utos daw ng Diyos ang pagpaparami. Kaya ang dami nagparami. Yan ang tinuro sa atin eh. Kasi conflict siya eh. Bakit pinalayas ng Diyos si Eva at Adan sa Garden of Eden? Bakit sila pinagagalitan? Nag-sex lang naman sila, nag-asawa na naman sila. Di ba karapatan nila yon na mag-asawa? Bakit sila pinalayas? Hindi tinuturo sa atin yan. Bakit? It is contrast to their teachings na magparami kayo. God is not stupid. Yun lang ang masasabi ko. God is not stupid. Hindi niya kailangan ituro ang pagpaparami. He does not need to command to multiply children. Natutuklasan nga ng tao, di ba? Kung saan kukuha ng kuryente. Ituturo pa ba yung sex? Ituturo pa ba yung pagpaparami? Kaya nag-aaway si Duterte, kaya tsaka yung simbahan. Yun ang point ni Duterte. Hindi stupid ang Diyos. Napakatalino niya, napaka-wise niya. And you know what happened here in the Garden of Eden? Adam was the first creation. Wala pang babae. And it took, according to Bible scholars, it took some time before the female was created. Matagal. Bakit? Ang daming utos ng Diyos kay Adan. Kasama dyan, yung pag-protect sa Garden of Eden, pangangalaga, everything was provided to him. Nandyan yung 4 na rivers, the Euphrates, the Tigris, full of minerals, full of gold, full of diamonds, etc. Adam was filled with everything around him. Hindi siya magugutom. Pero isa lang yung utos ng Diyos. Huwag mong kakainin yung prutas ng puno na nasa gitna ng garden. Nasa gitna. Remember the word, middle. Kaya nga nung kinagat, nung lumabas na si Eva, Adam was very busy with his work. Protecting the garden, naming the animals, busy with himself. Until God realizes that it is not good for this man to be alone. You know what God the next thing he did was to create the animals. That's in Genesis chapter 2. We are talking about the truth because this is what where marriage started. So Adam was very busy as a single guy, as a single person. He has everything that he needs to live. He does not even know that he is naked. He is enjoying his life as a bachelor. The same thing will happen to us. If we have a responsible parents, they will provide everything we need, di ba? Paggising natin, may pagkain sa mesa, kain tayo. Balik tayo uli sa kwarto, tulog tayo uli. O gawin natin yung gusto natin gawin. Then tanghalian, tawagin tayo uli ng parents. Kain na, baba na. Hindi natin pinoproblema yung pagkain natin because we have responsible parents. And that's what God did to Adam. He was a very responsible parent to Adam by providing all his needs in the garden. Pati mga puno na pwede niyang gawing furniture. Kompleto siya. O tayo, yung mga bayaran natin sa school as a student, binibigay ng magulang natin. If we have responsible parents, ha? I would like to assume for purposes of this discussion that all of you have a responsible parents. Okay? So, paggising natin, everything is provided. School, tuition, pag may pera pa nga, kotse di ba? O anak, kotse mo pagpasok sa school. Di ba? Di tayo naman problema. We always think about ourselves lang. That is the condition of Adam in the garden. Then Adam realizes, after naming the animals, he said, Lord, I found no suitable partner. So yun yung comment ni Adam, ha? That's Adam talking, not the Lord. So what God did was to put him in deep sleep. Pinatulog siya ng malalim. The very first major operation. And God took one of Adam's ribs and formed a woman habang tulog siya. Baka general anesthesia in-apply ng Diyos sa kanya. Hindi pinakita ng Diyos kung paano gumawa ng babae kay Adam. No? Hindi pinakita ng Diyos. Bakit? Baka pag gising mo, wala yung husband sa tabi mo, wives, gumagawa ng babae sa kabilang kwarto. No? Kaya tinago ng Diyos yun kay Adam. Okay? And science have proven also, kulang yung ribs ni Adam. No? For those of you who studied science or in the medical industry, kulang yung ribs ni Adam. Kulang na isa. And when Eve was already there, God was not there anymore. Remember this. When Eve was there, God was not there anymore. Because the Bible said, he brought her to the man. Brought her to the man. Check the meaning of brought in Hebrew, because the Bible was originally written in Hebrew. And brought means paraded. God paraded Eve to Adam and did not say anything. He did not tell Adam to get this woman as his wife. God will never touch on Adam's will to decide, because he knows, he is a wise God, that he will be blamed for the troubles that will come along Adam's life. He does not want to be blamed. He will never let that happen. He let Adam decide. So brought means paraded. In our life, God will just parade the woman in front of us. Then you decide. You can find the woman in your work, in your school, and you will be the one to decide. Kaya nga, of all the people in your workplace, of all the women in your workplace, bakit siya? Naramdaman mo siya yun Naramdaman mo. Siya yung soulmate mo. Of all the office mates that you have, bakit siya? Of all the schoolmates that you have, bakit siya? Because you have that feeling and you exercise that feeling when you decided to choose her, when you decided to court her and finally to get her married to you. And that's what Adam did to Eve. He claimed the woman to be his own flesh and bones of his bones. So this is now bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. That is Adam talking. He decided on that, not God. There was no dictate on the part of God. He will never touch on your will. So the moment you decided to get married, don't blame God for the misfortunes that you will suffer along the way as married couples. That's why I'm asking you a while ago, did someone influence you to get married? Ang saya-saya mo nung single ka. Ang saya-saya mo nung nasa bahay ka pa as a single. You have everything you want. Then you suddenly got married. Kaya masama yung parents, masama yung loob ng parents natin kapag nag-aasawa tayo eh. Umiiyak. Diba? Napansin niyo yun sa mga kasalan? Umiiyak yung magulang natin. Bakit? Oh. Hindi ka na nila makikita eh. Eh kung hindi ready yung anak na nagpakasal, hindi ready. Huwag kang mag-alala, mama, papa, dito pa rin kami titira. Ha? Makikita mo pa rin ako lagi, ha? Anak, mama, papa. Oh. Okay? At ganon, yun ang naramdaman ng Diyos when these two human beings disobeyed Him. Pinalayas sila sa garden. Nawala yung contact nila sa Diyos. Kaya after they were brought out of Garden of Eden, nagkaroon sila ng anak, nagkaroon ng pamilya. Bawat anak na lumabas ay naglalaban-laban. Nagpapaatayan sila. And it started with Cain and Abel, no? If you remember the story of Cain and Abel. So that's what happened in the Garden of Eden. And this is the only place that the archaeologists failed to find. Yung Garden of Eden. You know why? Because Garden of Eden is an environment. They went to Mesopotamia. In our history, Mesopotamia is now Iraq. No? Kilala niyo si Saddam Hussein? Ha? Yung presidente ng Iraq, yun yung sikat na presidente, si Saddam Hussein. Iraq was a former country called Mesopotamia. That is where archaeologists believe the Garden of Eden is located, but they cannot find the exact spot. This is the only place that they could not find. Why? Because this is an environment created by God. Baka ito yung moment na nagsaklob ang langit at lupa, kaya kasama nila ang Diyos. Okay? Now, before we take a break, I will go to the slides where Adam and Eve was already being castigated. Okay? They were already being castigated. Okay, I'd like to discuss this first. People are now wondering, especially the married couples, who is the foundation inside the family? Is it the male, the female, or both? Please start your answers. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4.
The male.
3. Thank you, Chris, for that answer. 2, 1. Mukhang marami pa nalilito ah. Marami nalilito. Who wants to know the truth?
The male.
Oh, may isa sumagot. Both. Nako, si Angelica. Oh, both daw. Sige.
Both?
Oh, one answered both. Let's see. Let's know the truth. Huh? Let's check the truth. Okay. Let's check the truth. The foundation is, let's study first the description of husband. Okay? In order for us to perform our roles very well, we have to know the description of our title. Okay? The origin of husband is houseband, the one who binds the house together. And only the Bible can explain the meaning of husband. Only the Bible can give the exact definition of husband, connecting and keeping together the whole family. That's the meaning of your title. So if you're not doing that, you are abusing your purpose. Okay? So you should connect and keep together the whole family. You are malfunctioning if you are not doing that purpose as a husband. And it's given only to the males. I've never found a woman called husband. Maybe only in the LGBT community. It's the title given only to the males, okay? Which, if we go back further, which means occupier and tiller of the soil. Tiller or cultivator. That's the meaning of husband. The true meaning of husband. Cultivator, tiller, okay? And the Hebrew meaning is, Rasan, can you please read? In the original pictographic.
Wait lang, sir. Hindi ko makita.
Yan, kita mo na.
Wait lang, sir. Hindi nag-appear sa screen ko.
Wala pa rin.
Wala pa rin po.
Si David na lang. David, kita mo? Kita mo sa screen mo?
In the original pictographic script, the first letter is a picture of an ox, has been the meaning of strong. The second letter is the picture of the tent or house where the family resides. When combined, this letter form the meaning, the strength of the house.
Yan. The father is the strength of the house. That's the Hebrew meaning where the word originated. Father. They use symbols, they use animals to illustrate the idea. And that's where the father, or the meaning of the father came out. But God also calls himself as father, right? Which in many occasions, he calls himself as Abba. Abba, which also means father. In Hebrew, since the Hebrew writings contains a lot of strokes, they have different meanings. They have a lot of meanings actually, different strokes, which means the source of every needs on earth, the provider of every needs on earth, the sustainer of every needs on earth. If you notice, we do not run out of water from the mountains. Every time gadaan ako sa mountains, may waterfalls, iniisip ko, hindi na uubos. Ang galing. Doon tayo kumukuha ng iniinom natin eh. Hindi naman sa dagat eh. Kasi maalat yung dagat, di ba? So, fresh water from the mountains, that's where our drink is coming from. Siya ang puprovide. He made sure that everything is there for us. Hindi na uubos ang baka, hindi na uubos ang baboy, hindi na uubos ang chicken. Di ba? Hindi napansin nyo? They are all programmed to produce themselves. Naka-program na sila. Samantalang tayo, because of our will, we can decide not to reproduce. Di ba? Meron din tayong power not to get married or raise children. Yun ang difference natin sa animals. The animals are working according to what has been programmed to them. Unlike in human beings, we can operate our own selves. Kaya, yun ang danger if we abuse our purpose, if we don't know our purpose. So, you are now becoming a father. You are also becoming a husband. Diba? After knowing these truths, you will make sure that David, Rasen, and all the grooms here, and also Chris, you will make sure that all the needs in the house are there. You will make sure that you have supply of rice in the house, of water in the house, of electricity in the house. You will make sure that you have budget for tuition of the children and all the necessities inside your home. That's the job description of the husband and the father. So after knowing these truths, mag-asawa ka pa ba? Tuloy pa, Russell? Tuloy?
Yes, sir.
Tuloy, ha? Walang atrasan, ha?
Yes, sir.
David, tuloy?
Umatras na po. Joke
Ay,
lang. Nag-CR lang po.
Nag-CR na. O si Lester? Tuloy?
Yes, tuloy po. Tuloy na tuloy.
Kim?
Yes, sir. Tuloy po.
Tuloy, ha? Adriel? Hindi ko narinig. Hindi narinig yung
Yes.
fiancé mo.
Umatras na po.
Chris? Tuloy?
I don't understand what mag-aasawa pa ba.
Mag-asawa.
What? English?
Are you proceeding with the marriage?
Am I
Yeah. Are you
proceeding with
still
what?
with the marriage, despite the fact that you are the sole provider as
Of
defined
course.
by your position?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's very good. That's very good to know. That's very good to know because most of the males who got married does not understand the meaning of what what role he took in. Most of the husbands. That's why we have high statistics of females asking to dissolve their marriages because they don't. The husband does not know the exact meaning of the position that he put to himself. Okay, that's why I have to ask you this question. Okay, now we are about to discuss the laws created by men about the rights and duties of spouses. Can we take a break? 5 minutes, huh, guys? Let's take a break 5 minutes, then we will proceed to this rights and obligations of spouses. Okay, see you in 5 minutes. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm back. Now, we are here at the portion of the family code. Again, this is the law of man. This is the work of Congress. And most of the provisions that they created here are not aligned with the design of marriage as we have discussed in the Garden of Eden. But we will get to know more about the design in the later part of our presentation. So you need to analyze and understand the principles behind the true design of marriage so you know how to address the case studies later on. We will assign a case study for one couple. You will present it here And you will tell us what went wrong in their relationship based on the principles that we have learned in this session. So that will come in the afternoon. Okay. So rights and obligations spouses, Article 68, Family Code. Since you are a foreigner, Chris, this also applies to you considering that you are marrying a Filipina. Okay.
Yes.
So when you are both overseas, the family laws in the US will also apply to Chi.
Well, I'm coming there, so
Oh, you're coming here. Wow.
yeah.
You're retiring. You're retiring for good, huh?
Yes.
That's very good. I hope you love the Philippines later on, huh?
I've been coming there for 15 years. I love it very much.
Wow, very good. Thank you for that. So let's proceed. Article 68 in Family Code, it says that each of you has the rights and obligations to each other. So if you have these rights, you also have these obligations. And if I go on the other side, if you have these rights, you also have the obligations. Before you can have these rights, you need to do your obligations. Okay? It's a twin requirement of the law. So Merriam-Webster defined rights as something to which one has a just claim. Either it's given by the natural law or by the laws of men. That right. Okay? Such as what? The power or privilege to which one is justly entitled. While the obligations is something one is bound to do. Duty, responsibility. In other words, whether you like it or not, you have to do it. Your hands are tied to it. It's like in the military. You have no opinion. You are not entitled to your opinion when you go into a military. Your duty is to obey. Okay? So in order for your spouse to get his rights, wives, you have to do your obligations. In order for the wives to get your rights, you have to do your obligations to your husband. Okay? You must understand that principle. Now, according to the family code, you have the right to defend the life and honor of the other. It's your duty and obligation to your spouse not to let her life and reputation get damaged, no? Yung masira yung kanyang karangalan at kanyang pagkatao or buhay. Your obligation is to defend that. If you fail to do that, you will be criminally liable under Article 11 of the Revised Penal Code. Right to cohabitation is also mandated by law. Now, you will live together as husband and wife in one habitation, in one place, in one location. Okay? The right to sexual intimacy, of course, if you are living together, this is part of the package. Okay? You have to give yourself to your spouse. But there is a provision also in this law that you do not own the body of your wife. That's where the problem starts. That is contradicting to Adam owning his wife. That is also the subject of a big debate in US Congress. I have read that most congressmen nowadays accepts the fact that the husband does not own the body of his wife. And so you can be charged with rape in case she does not like it. Okay? That's the philosophy of the congressman lately. But if you study the laws before, like in the 70s or in the 60s, they were all in agreement that the husband owns the body of the wife. Oh, We go back to the beginning. What did Adam do when he saw Eve? This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. The woman is part of every husband's body. You activated the law of relationship the moment you decided to get married. So that is your own body and flesh. And that's why privacy is not allowed in couples. Okay? That's the reason why privacy, you should not have privacy from each other. Okay? You cannot sleep together in bed while you are texting someone else. Okay? That's bad. Okay? Hindi pwede yun. And, di ba, meron din tayong feeling. We also have this feeling that we get angry when someone else uses our property. Even if it's a toy, it's a car, it's our material. When somebody else use that without our permission, we get angry. Di ba? Nagagalit tayo. It's our property. Then somebody else is using it without our knowledge, without our consent. And the same thing, the same feeling that we have when our wife is talking to someone else that we don't know. Di ba? Kim, matutuwa ka ba? Wife mo may kausap na ibang lalaki nang hindi mo kilala, hindi mo alam?
Siyempre hindi po.
Oh, you see? Pinag-aralan mo ba yung feelings na yan, Kim?
Hindi po.
Hindi, di ba? Kusa mong naramdaman yan. Kusa nating nararamdaman yan. It's a natural built-in feeling to our genes. Part of our genes yan. Yung feelings na yan. That we own our wife. You activated the relationship law. The natural law. Okay? So, this world has been struggling what to tell to couples, to every couples. Pag ayaw ng wife mo, tiis ka. Eh, the law says you have the right to sexual intimacy. But when your wife says, no, I don't like, I don't feel it. No? Let's exclude the monthly period, ha? Let's exclude the monthly period. Di kasali dito, ha? Let's say pagod lang. Pagod lang. And she says, no. Because in the preceding section of this law, we will read that we have no right to insist if the wife says no, if the wife answers no to you, to a sexual demand. Oh. And here's the natural law violated. When you reject your husband the first time around, he will understand that. The second time you reject your husband again, he will still understand that. The third time you reject your husband, he is no longer interested in you. He will never speak up. He will just go home smiling. Okay? Oh. That's where the danger is, the moment you don't understand that. But here's the thing. If the wife told you, I'm tired, what is the key to give in, for her to give in to your sexual request? Alam niyo ang key? Remember the principle of the automobile, car? Ha, David? Anong ginagawa sa isang kotse bago sakyan?
Warm up.
Kinokondisyon. Tandaan nyo, kinokondisyon yung sasakyan bago sakyan. Huwag yung sakay ng sakay. Di ba, David? O pag pagod si Mrs., anong gagawin? Lester?
Lambing muna.
Yon, galing. Lambingin mo muna. Kukondisyon mo. Kasi yun ang need nila eh. Mamaya maintindihan nyo lalo yan. Yun ang need ng mga babae. Pampatanggal ng pagod. Hindi yung patong kagad. Okay? Hindi naintindihan ng mga lalaki nag-aasawa yan before. Kaya pag dumaan sa amin, very confident kami. Magiging maayos magsama yan. Aabot ng 26 years yung mga yan pataas. Pag dumaan sa amin. Bakit? Natuturuan ng tama. Kaya pag dumating yung time na pinoproblema nyo na yan, pagod ako eh. Maalala niyo yung usapan ni Sir Angel. O, anong sabi ni Sir Angel? Kondisyon ko muna tong asawa ko eh. O, di ba? Alam mo na gagawin mo. Di ba? Because you cannot do what you do not know. Hindi papasok sa isip mo isang bagay na hindi mo naman alam beforehand. Magta-trial and error ka. Testingin ko nga, pagluto ko kaya ito. Di ba? Eh, hindi pala yun ang kailangan niya. Pinagluto mo nga. O, hindi pa rin pinansin. O, Lester, halimbawa, walang gana si Gia. O, pinagluto mo, hindi pa rin pinansin. O, kasi hindi mo inalam kung ano yung mas pangangailangan ng babae. O, yung lambing ang hinahanap niyan. Then pag kondisyon na, naku, kahit di mo nayayain yan. Yan pa maghuhubad ng damit mo. Oo. Di ba, no, Valerie? Oh, kahit hindi mo napilitin yan, kusayang ibibigay, basta nasa kondisyon na. At ikaw yung magkukondisyon, husband. Ha? Huwag mong hintayin na maging kondisyon siya. Dahil tatakbo ang araw, matagal pa yun. Ha, Lester? Huwag mo nang hintayin na makondisyon siya, matagal pa yun. Okay? Right to procreate. Siyempre, kaya tayo nag-aasawa minsan, we have this desire to have children eh. Paano kung yung napangasawa mo, walang kakayahang mabuntis? Di ang laking problema niyan. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years na, hindi pa kayo nakakabuo. Issue yan na kailangan i-address. Now, in the US, I read that one of the states, I don't think Chris knows this, or I think Chris knows this. One of the state in US requires the medical examination before they give marriage license. I remember it's in state of Texas. Chris, are you from Texas?
I've lived there before, but I'm not familiar with that rule.
Yeah, I've read that.
You like blood test?
Yeah, a medical examination that says
Well, they used to require blood test to make sure you weren't related, like you weren't cousin.
Yes. That's one medical requirement so that your child will not be defective later on.
Right. Yeah.
But there was a state in US which I read that for you to get the marriage license, you have to submit a medical examination that you are capable of bearing a child, both of you.
Oh.
And I can only imagine that there is a high statistics of divorce cases because of that. You're expecting a child, then your wife cannot bear a child, so you have only one solution to divorce, right? So that's one requirement. Here in the Philippines, you just plant a tree. Tanim kayong puno before we give you marriage license. Okay? That's how we think here in the Philippines. Right to jointly exercise parental authority over the children. Okay. Here's the problem. The law is granting you both the authority to exercise parental guidance to your children. Where both of you will give instructions. The children will just get confused. Sabi ni daddy, ganito. Sabi ni mommy, ganito. Sino ba talaga susundin namin? Isa lang yung inutusan ng Diyos sa Garden of Eden na maging teacher sa bahay. And that is the husband. Because God never talk to Eve until the day she violated the law. And the law was given only to the male. There was no female when the law was given by God to Adam. But Eve knows the instructions of God. How did she know it? It was told to her by Adam. And so because of the confusion of the world, Jesus had to tell us that the husband is the teacher in the house. So if the wives wants to know anything, they should ask their husbands at home. It's written in 1 Corinthians. The husband is the teacher in the home. So only one will give instructions in the house so as not to confuse the children. What is the role of the wife? To echo, to enforce the law given by the husband in the absence of the husband while he is at work, so that the children will not get confused. So only one will give instructions. Okay, do not follow this law. It will only confuse your children. They are giving you both parental authority, but only one was assigned by God to be the head in the family. That's the husband. Okay? Right to be supported by the other. This is not contrary to the marriage design. The right to be supported by the other. This can be in the form of emotional support, moral support, mental support, financial support, because the law did not define the exact meaning of support here. So when you are confronted with this problem, the law will just say everything that is needed by a human being. The support that he or she is looking for. So that can be in the form of financial, moral, emotional, etc. But you will not be entitled to that from your spouse if you leave the conjugal home, or if you failed, or if you refuse to live in your own residence. You are not entitled to that support unless you were driven out of your home. You don't have plans to go out of your home, of your conjugal home. You go out, you live in another place. You're not entitled to your spouse support because you left. Okay? That's what the law says. Now, under the column of obligations, you both have this duty to live together in one home. That's why we always discourage couples after getting married, one of them will work overseas. We discourage that, okay? Because the physical needs of each other will not be provided by each other. That cannot be provided by another one. You just signed the marriage commitment. You just told the whole world to give yourself to each other. Then you left overseas to work. Okay? So that's where the problem starts. Because we cannot live by just money alone. Okay? The intentions to work hard overseas is good, but it gives numerous negative effects to the family. So we as marriage counselors, we always admonish, we strongly advocate the living together in one home. Para hindi kayo pasukan ng problema. Para walang space sa gitna ninyo na pwedeng pasukan ng mga salisigang. Okay? Salisigang. Ha? Gustong-gusto nila yan. Yung nalalayo ka sa asawa mo, gustong-gusto ng mga salisigang yan. Duty to render mutual help and support. Bound to support each other. physiologically, psychologically, spiritually. These are the three needs of human beings as described by Abraham Maslow, the hierarchy of needs. A spouse cannot be examined for confidential information received during the marriage. For example, one of you disclose an information or a very private information or if your spouse gave you an information and someone else wanting to get that information from you, you cannot do that without his or her consent. Okay? Or your spouse disclosed something to you about his or her personality. You cannot disclose that to anyone without his or her consent. So don't forget that. You will be liable. Okay? He can charge you for damages. Okay? You will learn that later on in the civil code. Next. The right to be loved and be comforted. Right to jointly fix the family residence. This is not contrary to the marriage design. Wherever you want to live, saan nyo gustong tumira, magkasundo kayong dalawa. The answer should both be yes. Sige, dyan tayo titira. Okay din ako dyan. Pero pag may doubts, may apprehensions, pakinggan mo muna yung apprehensions and doubts ng asawa mo. Pakinggan mo, i-analyze mo, and pag-aralan yung dalawa. Kasi pag dyan tayo tumira, nakikita mo yun, yung mga squatter na yan sa malapit sa bahay natin. Pag yan nagutom, papasukin yung bahay natin. Di ba? Pakinggan nyo rin yung sinasabi ng asawa nyo. The moment na hindi siya sang-ayon. Dahil bilang head ng tahanan, husbands, kahit na ikaw yung head, you cannot exercise your authority arbitrarily. Nang walang say si wife. Okay? You understand that, Chris?
Yes, absolutely.
Whenever you have a decision in the house, you should consult your wife. Let your decision be influenced also by her. Para hindi ka maging diktador. Kasi kung puro ikaw na lang, ikaw, tapos sunod na lang ang sunod yung wife, kaya nalabas mo nun, si Saddam Hussein ka. You are a dictator. Ha, David? Natatawa ka eh. Okay? Consult your wife all the time. Then, pag nakita ng husband na, mukhang, kailangan ko-contray mo yun, husband, kailangan makumbinsin mo yung wife mo na tama yung decision mo, tama yung suggestion mo, tama yung proposal mo. I-justify mo sa kanya yun. Di ba? Halimbawa, pag sinabi ng wife mo, pag nagutom mo yung mga squatter na yan, pupuntahan tayo, papasukin tayo, hold upin tayo, iraransak tayo. Hindi, huwag ka mag-alala, mahal. Pakakainin ko sila lagi, pupuntahan ko sila lagi doon. Okay? Okay? Dapat i-justify niyo yun, husbands, ha? Para mawala yung worry niya. Para mawala yung kontra niya. Para eventually, you get a yes, the decision was made by both of you. Okay? Walang pagsusumbatan balang araw. O, hindi nyo isusumbat sa isa't isa yan. Kasi pag namumblema na, pagka isa lang yung nagdesisyon, pwedeng isumbat sa'yo. Di ba ikaw lang nagdesisyon yan? Di naman ako umuo dyan? Okay? Yan ang mararanasan ninyo sa married life. Kasi nga, pareho kayong powerful. Dahil pati babae, may power to lead the house. O, para hindi magsabong, alam nyo kung anong sabi ng Diyos? Wives, submit yourself to your husbands. Mag-iiba ang sitwasyon ninyo kapag kayo ay nag-asawa na. Kung dating career woman ka, presidente ka ng kumpanya, tapos nag-asawa ka bigla, magbabago ang sombrero mo. Kahit na messenger lang yung husband mo sa opisina, presidente ka ng kumpanya, the moment na nag-asawa ka, you activated the relationship laws of God. You have to submit to your husband. Now, since the husband is the one where God invested during Adam's singleness in the Garden of Eden, God invested to Adam, okay? For him to mature, for him to have all the necessary knowledge as a single guy. God waited for that. Now, we have witnessed a lot of annulment cases petitioned by the woman because of their husband's inability to be a husband. Okay? Because of the husband's inability to perform the role of a husband and a father. And that is the psychological incapacity being examined by the psychologists and psychiatrists. And the judge listens to them. Listens to this expert. Pag sinabi ng expert, oo nga, kasi yung hindi niya pagganap sa kanyang tungkulin as husband and wife emanated from his character, which he derived from his childhood because of his parents, ganito, because of his mother, ganito. Kaya binavalidate ng science yung karakter ng husband. Kaya pala hindi magampanan yung role bilang husband because of the upbringing. Because of the environment that he has before the marriage. And that's the problem why majority petitioners are women. And that is also the problem why most of our OFWs are females. PSA studied that also. 70% of OFWs are females. And just imagine if these women have children, they are taking care of the children of other couples. They cannot take care of their own children. Hindi ako naniniwala na aalis ang isang tao sa ibang bansa dahil sa kahirapan. Hindi ako naniniwala dyan. Kasi kung mag-asawa, magkatulong, mag-provide, mag-produce ng pangangailangan ng pamilya, ba't ka pa lalayo? Ba't ka pa aalis? Hindi lang kahirapan ang nagtutulak sa bawat Pilipinong nagtatrabaho abroad. Ano pa? Ano yung pinaka-reason nila? Yung relationship nila mag-asawa. Hindi sila okay. Kaya para makatakas, mag-abroad. Okay? Dahil maraming husband ang hindi alam ang meaning ng husband na pinasok niya. So, marami itong rights na to. Right to manage the household, right to exercise any legitimate profession. Okay, ito isang problema pa. Number 10. There is an engineer, there's a doctor. Husband and wife. The husband engineer wanted to stay in Manila. The wife doctor wanted to be a doctor in her hometown in Bicol. The husband told his wife, let's live here in Manila. We have lots of projects here. I cannot afford to live in Bicol. But the wife said, no, my hometown needs me. They don't have a doctor there. So since this is written in the family code, the wife petitioned the court to grant her permission to live there in Bicol, and it reaches the Supreme Court. And so the wife won the case. But did she win the husband's heart? Her husband's heart? Diba? Sinong husband ang patuloy pang makikisama sa wife na ayaw mag-submit. Because it's running in the genes of the husband to expect the woman to submit to him. Nararamdaman ng lalaki yan eh. Kaya pag ayaw magpasubmit ng babae, walang pakundangan sa pag-alis ng bahay, walang paalam, pag-aari ka ng husband mo, ano man mangyari sa'yo, pananagutan niya. And that's the reason why there is a father and bride handover to the groom. What's the meaning of that? The father is entrusting all his responsibilities to his daughter, to you, husband. Kapag yung wife na napangasawa mo, alagang-alaga ng tatay niya, everything was provided to her, tapos hindi ka ganon, husband, magmamalfunction siya. Babalikin sa tatay niya. Oo. Di ba no, Gia? You are not like my father. Oh. Kaya Lester, gusto mong mapamahal sa'yo si Gia ng husto, kilalanin mo yung tatay niya kung paano siya inalagaan. So, dapat ganun din yung pag-aalagang gagawin mo sa kanya. Okay? Ito pa isa. Naalala ko ngayon. God created the woman out of the man's body. You know the reason why? Because Adam was created from the dust. Galing sa lupa si Adam. Pero he never went back to the soil to create Eve, to create the woman. He created it from the ribs, di ba? He took it out from the man's body. Bakit kaya? Gusto mong hulaan, David, kung anong reason? Try natin si Kim. Gusto mong hulaan, Kim, bakit sa katawan ng lalaki kinuha yung babae? Hindi sa lupa.
Guess lang po, sir.
Yes lang. Guess lang. Guess.
For them to become one.
For them to become one. Try natin. Medyo malapit. Try natin si Lassen. Bakit kaya? Guess.
Same answer.
Same answer. You want to call a friend? Call a friend na? Call a friend na tayo? Okay. Here's the reason why. According to Bible scholars din. At inunawa ko rin mabuti. Kaya pala kinuha sa katawan natin sila para maintindihan daw natin, mga lalaki, na sila ay baby natin. That's why we are comfortable telling them, hi babe, hi baby. Baby natin yung mga yan. Galing sa katawan natin eh. And you activated that when you decided to be in a relationship. Yun pa lang. Kahit hindi pa kayo nagpipirmahan ng marriage contract, that law is already activated. Okay? Parang ganito yan eh. Yung dating hindi ka nagda-drive, Rasen, bigla ka nag-apply ng driver's license, applicable na sa'yo ang traffic law. Nagets mo? Diba? Dati kang hindi nagda-drive, Kim, pero bumili ka ng kotse, binigyan ka ng license, subject ka na sa traffic law. Dati kang single, bigla ka nagpakasal, subject ka na sa relationship law ng Diyos. Now, dahil matalino ang tao, dinadagdagan ng tao yung batas ng Diyos tungkol sa pag-aasawa. So, the moment na hindi naka-align yung batas ng tao doon sa batas ng Diyos, that will give us punishment. Built-in yung punishment. Kaya itong nangyari sa doktor tsaka sa engineer, hindi sumunod sa husband, makikisama ka pa ba doon sa asawa mo ayaw magpasubmit sa'yo? Kahit ngayon pa lang, alam ko na, sasagot nyo. No. Makikita nyo mamaya na nung pinagagalitan na ng Diyos si Eva, after sumuway, sinabihan ng Diyos si babae, talagdagan ko ang hirap mo sa panganak. Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. I will increase your pain in childbirth. In pain, you will bring forth children. Your desire will always be to your husband. Lagi mong nanaisin yung husband mo na makita mo, makasama mo, makatabi mo. Mawala lang yan ng ilang minuto, naka-off yung cellphone, hindi ka tinitext, kung ano-ano na iisipin mo. Valerie. Diba? 5:01 na, ba't di ka pa nagtitext? Bakit naka-off cellphone mo, ha? Ganyan yung naturally mararamdaman nyo when you get married. Your desire will be to your husband, sabi ng Diyos sa babae. At ito yung pinaka-last na sinabi niya. He will rule over you. He will rule over you. Kaya the husbands always have this feeling to rule over the woman, to control over the woman. Bakit? He is the ruler. He was designed to be the ruler in the house. Pero sabi ng Diyos, for you to become effective in your role as a ruler, in your relationship as husband and wife, sabi ng Diyos, kanino? Kay husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh to them. Ulitin ko, nasa Colossians chapter 5 yan. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh to them. Alam nyo bang tinuklas ng science yan? Kung totoo yung sinasabi ng Diyos. Sa survey na ginawa ng mga psychologists, ng mga psychiatrists, meron silang natagpuan na design ng babae at design ng lalaki. Sabi nila, the findings nila, the women are designed to be emotional and the men are designed to be logical. Again, ulitin ko ha. The women are designed to be emotional and the men are designed to be logical. Pag sinabihan ka ng wife mo, Lester, sinabihan ka ni Gia ng stupid, iiyak ka ba?
No.
Delikado yan pag umiyak ka. Okay? Pero pag si Gia, sinabihan mong stupid, tapos ginastify mo pa, maya-maya umiiyak na yan. Ang sakit mo naman magsalita. Kaya pala, sabi ng Diyos, do not be harsh to them. Sabi ng science, because they are emotional. Nakita niyo na yung logic? Nakita niyo yung logic? Not to be harsh to the woman. Kaya sa mga pelikula, maririnig mo lagi si action star, pinagtatanggol yung babae. Pare, yung babae, minamahal, hindi sinasaktan. Di ba ganun lagi yung concept nila? Because it's a natural law na nararamdaman din ng bawat babae at lalaki. So kahit maliit na insulto, kahit maliit na masakit na salita, yung simpleng masakit na salita, yung nagluto si Angelica, tapos ang reaction ni Angelica, sino yung groom mo? Angelica? Sino yung groom?
Si Adrel po.
Si Adrel, saan si Adrel? Adrel. Pag nagluto yan si Angelica, tapos ang una mong reaksyon maalat, masakit yun. Sakit yun sa kanila. Oh, Angelica, sabi ni Adrel, maalat daw una mong luto. Oh, anong reaction mo?
Ano po? Siya na magluto.
Siya na magluto. Oh. Hindi ka na magluluto, sigurado. 'Di ba? Maliit na bagay sa lalaki, pero malaking bagay yan sa babae. Naintindihan niyo na? Ha? So now you know how to handle each other. Yan ay naka-explain dun sa book na Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by James A. Connor. I-check niyo yung book na yan. Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by James A. Connor. Okay, bibilisan ko na lang so we can have a lunch break. 12:23, time check. Right to receive and give, moderate gifts to and from each other. Hindi naman to illegal, hindi naman kontra sa batas ng Diyos. Regaluhan niyo ang bawat isa. Okay? Trip niyo magregalo ng kondo sa bawat isa, why not? Magregalo ng kotse, why not? Okay? Right to retain the ownership possession and administration of your exclusive separate properties. Yung mga mana ninyo sa inyong mga magulang, meron daw kayong karapatan na i-retain yung ownership o ibenta kahit wala siyang consent. Aba, pag ginawa mo naman yan, kahit na mana mo yan, masasaktan pa rin yung asawa mo. Kasi aasahan niya na meron kang pinaplano doon sa property minana mo. Bigla kang binenta nang hindi niya alam. Masakit yun sa partner mo. Hindi mo siya in-include sa decision mo. Kahit pa sinasabi ng family code na rights mo na i-dispose yan, kahit wala siyang consent, magmamalfunction din ang inyong relationship. Bakit? Hindi ka nagtiwala sa kanya sa pwede niyang gawin or i-contribute na idea sa property mo. Okay? Ito, yun ang danger kapag masinunod mo yung batas ng tao kaysa sa batas ng Diyos about relationship. That's the danger. Mawawalan kayo ng gana sa isa't isa. Okay? Nung Civil Code time, before 1987, or before the People Power Revolution, ang Civil Code, ang sabi doon ay husband ang provider. Tama yun. Nasa maayos pang pag-iisip yung mga framers ng Civil Code. Pero nung dumating yung People Power Revolution, 1987, Constitution, binago, 1988, Family Code, lumabas, inalis yung responsibility sa husband. Ginawang both of them. Dalawa na silang provider. Dahil daw, marami daw umiiyak na Filipino woman, dito basahin nyo, that they should not be confined to stereotype roles, one of which is the management of the household. Wives would like their husbands to share this responsibility, like worrying about the high prices of food and family necessities, making both ends meet, helping the wife with chores during maid absence, taking care of the baby at night, especially if both spouses go to office or work during the day. So ito yung pinakialaman ng family code. Dahil do sa maraming kababaihan na nanawagan sa Kongreso, baguhin ang batas, gusto rin namin magtrabaho kasi may degree kami, nabubulok lang kami sa bahay. At mahirap ang buhay. Pag magkasama kaming nagtatrabaho, lalaki ang savings ng family. Mababayaran lahat ng obligasyon. O kailan ba lumalaki ang obligasyon? Siyempre, pag gumawa kayo ng gumawa ng anak, dumadami obligasyon nyo. Who put you in that situation? Hindi naman yung gobyerno. Hindi naman yung Diyos. Di ba? Di ba, Ma'am Rachel? O, who put you in that situation na dumami ang obligasyon ninyo? O, sabi ng mga wives daw na may degree, nabubulok sa bahay, dapat daw pati si husband mag-alala tungkol sa taas ng bilihin. At tumulong sa bahay kapag daw yung maid ay absent. Or parehong pagod sa pagtatrabaho. Kapag parehong pagod, sino magtitimpla ng gatas ng baby, ng alauna ng madaling araw, umiiyak. O, wala yung maid, alam nga naman kasama niyo yung maid sa kwarto. Diba? Kaya pati husband daw gigising. Kaso, pagka narinig ni husband umiiyak yung baby, makikiramdam muna yan, no? Pag gumalaw na yung wife, tutulog-tulugan na yan. I'm the head of the house. Ikaw yan, sa iya. Husbands, tulong na lang, ha? Tulong. Pagpagod si wife. By the time na kaya mo nang i-provide lahat ng pangailangan sa bahay, mararamdaman mo na lang yan. Huwag ka lang magtrabaho. Dito ka lang sa bahay. Take care of the children. Kapag wala pang kids, enjoy. Work, work, work. Ipon, ipon. Pag nandiyan na si baby, magbabago ng sitwasyon nyo dapat. And it's very important for the husband to have a vision. Kung napanood niyo yung homework niyo sa explanation ni Dr. Miles Monroe, kung may vision ng husband, pwede lang hindi pagtrabahuhin ang wife. Ano magiging role ng wife? Tutulong kay husband. Hindi pwedeng mangarap ang dalawang mag-asawa sa bahay. Hindi pwedeng parehong may kanya-kanyang pangarap. Alam niyo kung bakit? Back to Eden. Balik tayo sa Garden of Eden. Si Adam lang ang kausap ng Diyos. Siya lang yung sinabihan to work and take care of it. Take care of the garden. Work in Hebrew means to become. Hindi yung job. Walang job sa Bible. Yung concept ng master and servant is not in the Bible because yung Diyos yung master. The concept of job is from the capitalist concept under the philosophy of the Greek people. Yung kapitalista. So, lalaki lang yung inutusan ng Diyos na mangarap, magkaroon ng vision. Pag nagkaroon ng vision si wife, dalawa na yung vision ninyo, dalawa na yung pangarap ninyo. Magiging busy kayo pareho sa mga visions ninyo. And you will create a space in between the two of you. Anong space yan? Busy ka, overtime ka sa work kasi may vision ka. Si wife, busy din, overtime sa work kasi may vision din siya. You know what's the meaning of two visions in the house? That means DI. Two means D. Divisions. Yan ang ibibigay sa inyo ng kanya-kanyang pangarap. Isa lang yung mga ngarap sa inyo. Kaya wala kang ibang gagawin, wives, to ask your husband. Tanongin mo siya ng tanongin, anong gusto mo sa buhay natin? Saan tayo pupunta? Anong pangarap mo? At ikaw naman, wife, pag-aalalan mo kung saan mo ilalagay sarili mo, doon sa vision niya. Huwag kang gagawa ng sarili mong vision. It is not your purpose as a wife. That purpose was given to the husband. So don't forget that. Dahil magmamalfunction talaga ang inyong pagsasama the moment na aabutin mo yung sarili mong vision. And that's what happened to the Bohol mayor. Kung nabasa niyo yung case study natin, that's what happened to the Bohol mayor. Yung first airline pilot ng AirAsia. May business na si husband, ito naman si babae, nag-business din. Tapos walang kamalay-malay si husband, nabaon sa utang. At the end of the day, sino ang sasalo sa mga wives? Di ba ikaw, David? Pag namroblema sa Rachel, at the end of the day, sino ang sasalo, David?
Ako po.
Ikaw pa rin, di ba? Yeah, it's a no-no for the wives to have her own vision. Dahil, yung nangyari dun sa Bohol mayor na yon, tsaka yung asawa niyang board member, nabaon sa utang si babae na hindi alam ni Bohol board member, yung husband niya. Sukat ba naman bumili ng relo, 2.5 million? And I can only imagine yung sagutan, yung awa, yung sumbatan nila all throughout their marriage. May na-violate na law sa kanilang relationship. Okay? So, itong mga binasa nating rights and duties ng mag-asawa, ito daw yung solusyon pag hindi ginampanan. Adriel, please read this for us before we take a break, lunch break.
Remedies when a spouse needs annulment of marriage, separation of nullity of marriage, legal separation, action for support, action for damages, action for dispute, judicial separation of property, action for garnishment, action for sole administration of property, judicial acquisition of spouse, judicial separation of summary judicial proceeding, action for injunctive proceeding, action, administrative action, protection order.
Yan, thank you, Adriel. Of all these remedies being offered by the laws of man, sabi kanina sa Constitution, naalala nyo, family is the foundation of our nation. Sabi ng Constitution, ha? Ngayon, itong family code, ino-offer yung solusyon na ito. May napansin ka ba, Adriel, na one or two or three of them which is leaning towards the preservation of your marriage?
is
May napansin ka?
wala.
Mukhang wala, no? Rachel, ikaw, may napansin ka? Wala. Wala kahit isa. The moment you choose one of these, sira na ang inyong pagsasama. Wala lang gustong makisama sa inyong dalawa. Because marami ng laws violated between the two of you. And these solutions are all leaning towards the breakup of the family. Okay? May questions ba so far? Are you learning? Tututo ba kayo? Chris, are you still connecting even though Tagalog, some of my words? Are you still connecting, Chris?
Yes, I understand for the most part.
Yeah, and she will explain it to you, huh? Later on.
And she's helped me because the Netflix movie was all in Tagalog, so she had to explain it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to watch The Blow by Johnny Depp. It's a good family movie.
I've seen that.
Yeah, Blow by Johnny Depp.
I've seen that many times.
Yes, you will learn a lot in your relationship as parents, no?
Yes.
Let's discuss that in the case study session. So let's have a break. I hope you were enlightened in this first session natin. At least naliwalagan na kayo the truth about marriage, and somehow you have the idea now, you have the knowledge now how to govern yourselves as husband and wife. Let us talk about the 5 things when my wife takes over here as a speaker. Let's go back by 1:35. Time check is 12:35 here on my watch. Let's go back here by 1:35. My wife will take over as the next speaker to discuss your 5 daily needs as a wife and husband. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Enjoy your lunch. See you at 1:35.
Thank you.
I will, yeah, thank you then.
Salamat po.
Salamat, Chris. I will stop the Zoom. Just enter again later on using the same link. Huh?
Okay.
Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you.
Bye.